Since from that time, I am in dialysis.
On the outskirts of Bangalore, India's third largest city, a unique experiment in healthcare. A hospital with a difference, determined to make a difference. This week on Indian Hospital, liver transplant baby Hatisham struggles for life.
Now it is completely changing.
A young girl's dream of a new face is realized. 12-year-old Vicky faces heart surgery, and 30-year-old Prabhu has some tough decisions ahead. India produces the largest number of babies in the world, 1 every second. Of these, 3 million will die before the age of 5, many from a treatable cardiac disease.
We produce 28 million babies a year, over 600 children a day with the heart disease. We need to do 2.5 million heart surgeries a year, and all the heart hospitals in the country put together perform less than 90,000 heart surgeries a year.
With so few pediatric operations being performed in the whole country, it's a very fortunate few who are lucky enough to get a bed here at the Nairana Pediatric Cardiac Ward headed by Dr. Colin John.
We have a 70-bedded intensive care. What we are doing is about 220 a month in our hospital, which is huge, which is the largest pediatric center in the world. It's looking better now. The beds are full all the time. This has been operated both from the side and from the front. It's an incredible journey. It's really amazing. It's not something that you can write off easily. I'm very grateful and thankful to God for what has happened. Nice and warm.
Okay, that's radiant. Don't give any more fluid. Increase your ventilation a little bit to 4 feet. Just give that table a tilt that side. Just 1 second. Yeah, that's good.
This baby has very diminutive pulmonary arteries. They're just about 2 millimeters. I'm not sure we can do too much to help this child. We set out to do a shunt so that these arteries will grow, but they're so small the shunt may not work. But despite knowing it's very hard to accept something like this. Yeah, I think so. We might have to back out. Sorry. Too small. Okay. Thanks.
Dr. Colin John is one of the world's most experienced pediatric cardiac surgeons. Over 35 years, he's performed more than 20,000 operations. A typical Western surgeon would have done just a few thousand in their professional career.
Sometimes we face these setbacks, but we've got to take it in our stride, face the next one. It's easier said than done. It's easier for us, perhaps, than for the parents, because they come here with so much hope, and we're not able to do anything.
This is just the first of 4 operations Colin John will perform today. He's hoping the rest will be more rewarding.
somehow right from the beginning, I always wanted to be a pediatric heart surgeon. And this was at a time when even heart surgery was in its infancy, and pediatric cardiac surgery was probably not even existent. I've seen the days when it was extremely difficult. The infrastructure was not good. The instruments were not up to the mark. The suture materials were not good enough. And the lighting was not good enough. People who join heart surgery now are on a platter because all of the things have been ironed out, fine-tuned, and we've come to a level of expertise that offers very good results with negligible mortality, really. We sweated it out. It was 25 out of 24 hours a day kind of work because, the understanding was not up to the marks. We would face something and then not know why it's happening and then hang around and hit and miss kind of a treatment. And slowly it all evolved, and we are where we are now because of all that.
In the orthopedic section of the hospital, it's been a month since 13-year-old Rajeshwari was first seen by Dr. Rolson. She's back from her village 300 kilometers away, where she's been building up her strength for her life-changing operation. If successful, she'll be able to open her mouth and eat solid foods for the first time in 11 years.
The nutrition and all these things have helped, I feel. So we are happy. She looks good. All set for tomorrow. Okay. So, ಒಂದು ನಾಳೆ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇವಳದು ಈ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಜರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಯಿ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೂದಲು ತೆಗಿತೇವೆ, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಹೀಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖದ ಇವಳಿಗೆ ನೆಗುವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ನೆಗ ಈಗ ಒಂಥರ ಮುಖ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಹೋದಂಗೆ ಈ ಥರ ಆದಂಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಚಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋಂಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಹುಬ್ಬು ಏರಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ದಂಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಬಾಯಿ ಓಪನ್ ಆದರೆ ಸರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಎರಡು ಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ಬೋದು. ಆ ಸೈಡ್ ಕೂಡ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದೇ ಸೈಡ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ಬೋದು. ಆ ಎಲುಬನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸೈಡಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತರ್ತೇವೆ. ಆಗ ಅವಳು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾಳೆ. ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಒಂದು 80 to 85% ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾಳೆ, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಸೊ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ at 7 o'clock ವಿಲ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್. ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಭಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಕೇರ್ಡ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಗುಡ್. ಓಕೆ.
Nine-month-old baby Hatisham Ali was dying from liver disease. His father, Akbar, agreed to be a liver donor, and a transplant has been performed. Hatisham was recovering well, but 5 days after his operation, he's had a serious relapse and is rushed back to theatre.
Again, we checked with the Doppler. Again, it looked blocked again. So we took him back to theatre, and we now revascularized the liver. On the table, it seemed all right, and in the immediate post-operative Doppler that we did, it seemed all right. So hopefully that will supply enough blood to the liver and make it grow.
कैसा था, कैसे हो गया था? देखो तो कैसा था, कुछ नहीं है, पास देखो उसको, कुछ भी नहीं है.
When we did the operation, he had an abnormal artery. He had a very small artery which was breaking up into branches very early, and it was in relation to, at least the donor had that anatomy, and in relation to his artery, there was a great size discrepancy. So we sort of suspected that we might have some problem with this vessel.
Despite the twice daily updates and the doctors being on hand at all times, the Alis are just overwhelmed by their baby's decline.
मुझे डॉक्टर लोग बताना चाहिए ऐसा ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है, ऐसा करके. ठीक तरह से बता दिए तो हम लोगों को टेंशन नहीं रहता। थोड़ा थोड़ा बताएंगे तो थोड़ी देर ये बताते हैं, थोड़ी देर वो बताते हैं। एक्चुअली बेबी को प्रॉब्लम क्या है, क्या हो रहा है, अच्छा होएगा नहीं होएगा, बता देंगे तो अच्छा है ना। जल्द
Obviously, they are disappointed. And, these are not unusual problems that we face in pediatric liver transplantation, and that we've done the right thing by quickly recognizing it and correcting it. So perhaps it will work, and it will get better, and it will take a little time. But the graft, even though it's had some insult, will pick up and start to function.
ना सब करने के बाद ये वैसा हो गया तो खुदा पे भरोसा ही नहीं लगता है ना।
It's early the following morning, and Rajeshwari's prepared for theatre. For a village girl from a poor family, this expensive operation would be totally out of reach if she hadn't been fortunate enough to be directed to this hospital. It's a complicated procedure, but if successful, will change her life forever.
See, we have exposed the bony fusion here. We need to take out that part of bone now, which we'll be doing. We'll take out say around a centimeter of bone, and that releases the problem. I mean the joint fusion. We should be able to open her mouth after that here in the table.
Three hours into Rajeshwari's operation, Dr. Salans arrives to take charge for the most critical part of the procedure.
One side of the face, as you can see here, is almost missing, completely collapsed. So what I'm doing is, we have actually taking this forward here, and we are also building this up. Okay, let us pray to God. So we'll start. Her mouth has been opened, as you can see here. It's freely opening, so that's it. But now we have several problems. If you see from the top, she has no fullness at all. One side is completely collapsed. We are going to really take this down and give her a chin, and then again we have to build up this area completely. How much blood loss she had? Because she will begin to lose blood now because the bone is exposed. It's a very tricky business because we are working completely inside the mouth, and you are compelled to sort of do all these complex curves inside. So it's a very laborious process. If you make a mistake, the whole thing will fracture.
Laborious it may be, but one slip here and Rajeshwari's dreams of a normal life would be shattered. But Dr. Salans has perfected his techniques over 20 years of surgery, practicing both in India and abroad. Among surgeons, he's considered a master craftsman and a leader in his specialized field. He's operated on royalty and film stars, as well as the poor, like Rajeshwari.
So now we have absolute control over moving this anywhere we want. Yeah, this is the technique which was actually developed by me. Now we will see the magic happening. Now it is completely changing. To me, this is not really a challenge, but when you really see a girl and get to know her family, it completely changes your viewpoint. I mean, if you ask me, we pray and do this. Why? Because it adds so much value to our life. See, tomorrow for me to see this lady, from the age of 2, she has never had a meal. Sit down, open her mouth and eat a meal. If that is not really a life worth living for us, I mean, I do not know what is. And then a girl whose face was so ugly, she thought she could never be normal, goes home because of an operation we have done with a normal face and even beautiful face. And after a few years, she comes gaining weight, her nutritional problems solved, a completely different person. I mean, if this is not an act of creation, I mean, I do not know what is. So for me, this is the most rewarding. It's not, we do lot of complicated operations, but this is something that adds so much value, which makes us so very happy. You know, removing a cancer is one thing, but creating somebody's face and giving them a normal face, I think is a tremendous, I mean, for me, this is very, very fulfilling. That's why I like to do this. It is not enough that we solve the primary problem, but can we add value to the point that all that is possible within our resources we try to do? Might not be possible in every patient, but in every patient, our intention is that the change that we bring about in that particular person is something that would be beyond their ordinary wants.
Rekha Menon has come from Dubai with her son Vicky to see Dr. Colin John about a recurring heart problem. She and her husband Manoj are Indian professionals who could have gone anywhere in the world for Vicky's treatment. But Dr. Colin John's reputation has brought them here. Her husband has been delayed on business in Dubai, where he's a senior executive in an airline company.
Yeah, this is my sister.
Nice to meet you.
Rani. And that's, come, it's okay, come in. This is my youngest son.
Hi.
He's Rohit. We have to do it the full way, right? There's no other...
No. This will not respond to an
keyhole
intervention
or
by... No. We've got to make surgery safe.
Yeah.
That's the priority.
Yeah. When do we have to get him admitted?
You need to get in by tomorrow.
I have to get him in by tomorrow.
That kid, as I explained, has a blockage narrowing the passage between the left ventricle, the pumping chamber, and the aorta, the great artery that arises, supplies oxygenated blood. That's been there from birth. It's progressive. It's time to address that problem. And it's an open heart, major operation. We take that membrane that's causing that obstruction. Shouldn't really recur if it's taken out fully. Sometimes we are not able to take it out fully for some other reason, which case it can grow. But God's grace, we hope and pray and do our best.
Ten days after his operation to give a section of his liver to his son, Akbar is recovering well, but Hatisham is still not out of the woods.
आप कैसा है? फुल हीलिंग हो गया? खाना सब खा रहे? बहुत अच्छा. बच्चे के बारे में आज थोड़ा वो इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स थोड़ा एक पोटेशियम नंबर थोड़ा ज़्यादा है, डबल है, तो उसका वास्ते मॉनिटरिंग करने के लिए उधर अंदर रखा, और उसका शुगर भी ज़्यादा है, तो थोड़ा इंसुलिन देना पड़ेगा, और उसका लिवर फंक्शन सब थोड़ा इम्प्रूवमेंट हो रहे. So let us see. It's, I told you, a long battle. Good.
ऐसे ही मेरा बच्चा भी मेरा घर वापस गया तो खुद खुश हो जाएंगे, मेरा हस्बैंड भी अच्छा हो गया.
बहन जी, मेरा पहले दिन के बाद आप लोग याद रखना. डेली आपको मालूम है 3-4 बार बच्चों को देखता है और सब टेस्टिंग सब चीज. सो इतना दूर आने के बाद हम होप है वो ठीक हो जाएगा.
This family, where you might say, between two moods. And on the one hand, they would come to us and say that we entirely trust and we are happy for what is going on, and that what you're doing is the right thing. But they would also raise questions like, why did this happen? Could it not have been prevented, etc. So this is not unusual, and I think families go through this process. But we have prepared them, and I hope that they will come along with us. I am hopeful that the graft will work and that he will get better in time, but it's going to be a slow recovery process.
Meanwhile, Vicky begins the battery of tests that precede any major surgery.
The last 13 years, probably I wasn't as worried as what I am today, as of now, because I think I've totally researched about the whole thing and the recurrence factor and everything like that. And then, of course, any other complications arising out of the surgery and everything. So everything put together, I mean, it kind of worries me more now. At the same time, there is a sense of relief.
Not everyone that comes to the Nirana needs financial concessions.
He was finding it difficult to breathe. He couldn't breathe at all. So then we had to rush him.
The Menons can afford to pay in full for Vicky's operation. While this fast-tracks preparations for his surgery, in line with the hospital's principles, Vicky will receive exactly the same medical treatment as the poorest non-paying patient.
Sorry?
Where does it hurt exactly?
Like here, like.
Yeah. And at that time you feel your heart beating very fast?
Yes.
It hurts means what happens exactly? Does it pain very severely?
No, it's like it hurts like a bit, and then I can't breathe. Like it's hard for me to breathe.
Yeah, and then you start feeling dizzy also.
Yeah.
At a hospital like Nirana, where up to 300 cardiac operations alone are performed every week, it's easy to forget that Vicky's operation is still high risk. To her dismay, Rekha learns that Vicky's procedure is not as straightforward as first thought. Cardiologist Dr. Sejal breaks the news.
Okay, now I need to tell you something, because if I would see only a discrete membrane, it's easily resectable. But this component, which is muscular, is a little difficult to tackle. For him, it doesn't look as if this is much more than this.
Okay.
So basically, the initial idea should be just removing the membrane and seeing how much we can come down. Even if we can come down by more than 50%, it is a satisfactory result. Anything more than that to remove this is a little more invasive surgery. So it has to be decided based on the risks. Little amount of narrowing, I think we should accept it.
The surgeons won't be able to make a decision on the risk factors until he's opened up on the table.
I keep telling myself that it's just a fear, I'm going to see him doing everything like what other children do, go to university, have a great job, have a family. I'm going to look after my grandchildren. I mean, all those things. I mean, just like any mom.
For 30-year-old Prabhu, this rooftop in Bangalore is his entire world.
Since I stay in second floor, I get stuck. I feel like I'm in a jail. I used to run, walk, do everything. All of a sudden, I feel like my wings are broken, I can't fly anymore. Initial stages, I used to feel really depressed, I used to feel really depressed. I used to sit and cry out, so I never used to sleep the entire night. In times I would try for committing suicide as well. Now I used to like why should I live on this earth? Like, I'm a burden for everybody. I'm not able to take care of myself, neither my parents. So I was finding really difficult to cope up with the kind of disease I had.
இது ரொம்ப கஷ்டத்தான்ப்பா. சாப்பாடு கொடுக்கணும், தண்ணி ஊற்றணும், பாத்ரூம் கொடுக்கணும், குழந்தை மாதிரி பார்த்துக்கணும்.
ಥರ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇವಾಗ ಬೇರೆ ಚಾನ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಅವನು ಇದು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಅದಾದರೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಏನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಹುಡುಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಹುಡುಗ ಅವನು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಗತಿಯೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ.
My brothers, my sisters, my brother-in-law, all my cousin sisters, my friends really help me out a lot. Sometimes it feels really bad. But that's how my life is. I can't blame anybody for this, neither my parents, my fate. I was a healthy kid, I was born perfect. There was no problem whatsoever. Unfortunately, at the age of 13, it started like I was finding difficult to walk fast. That was the first thing. Then slowly I recognized that I was unable to climb the steps as I used to do before. And I used to really feel, like I'm losing strength from my body.
We were unsure what is happening to him. He would suddenly fall down, and it was shock of our life, where he keeps walking and immediately he falls without any indication of he's going to fall or something like that.
I was like very confused, like what's wrong with me? I'm fine, my arms are fine, my legs are fine, my body is fine, there's nothing, no problem whatsoever. Why am I not able to walk? My grandma told that there's going to be something called black magic. So they told someone has done black magic for you. That is the reason, because you are all right. Suddenly you are not able to walk and you're finding so very difficult in life. So then what my grandma told, let's go and check. We went for a temple. As you know, people, they are just waiting for somebody like me, to just take money.
The solution to Prabhu's problems could not be cured by a temple visit or a priest's blessings.
Day by day, the disease started increasing. Then finally I thought, let me go to a doctor and consult what is the problem. So at the age of 15, that is after 2 long years, I went for a treatment.
The doctor's diagnosis 14 years ago was devastating. Prabhu was suffering from motor neurone disease, a progressive, debilitating, and incurable condition. It's a slow, cruel disease from which there's no reprieve and can only end in death. In desperation, Prabhu sought out any medical treatment that might save him.
Till date, I've been trying a lot of medicines. I tried English medicine, I tried Ayurvedic, I tried acupuncture, I tried Siddha Vaidyam, I tried every possible medicines in the world. Since I reached so bad, I got to know a doctor from one of my friends who suggested me that there is a doctor who does a treatment for this kind of disease or something with the nerves kind of thing, Ayurvedic kind of medicine. So I thought, let me take a chance. I resigned my job last year, April 30th, and I thought, let me take up this treatment and see how it goes on. So I got admitted in the hospital, and I was there for about 3 months, and I found that there wasn't any improvement whatsoever. Wherever I went, doctor used to tell me, yeah, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, but then I wasted a lot of money and my time, so nothing could help me. All doctors say is believe in God.
But if God was listening, he certainly moved in mysterious ways. Prabhu had yet another immediate and serious problem, which would lead him to the corridors of Narayana Rudalaya Hospital. Rekha and her family are staying with Vicky's aunt at her upmarket Bangalore apartment. Because of their full-fee paying status, Vicky will be admitted tomorrow and expects to be in hospital for at least 10 days. The promptness of the admission has caught them out, and they're frantically trying to get hold of Vicky's father so he can be here the following day. Rani runs a successful interior design company in the inner city. She's taken off as much time as she needs to be with her nephew Vicky, to whom she's very close. There's good news in the transplant ward. Baby Hattersham has recovered well enough to be discharged. Kur can at last take her son home to be reunited with the family.
अम्मा मेरा बेटा देर में ना कहते बाहर आकर अम्मू तेरा घर ला कर ले शिन्नू शिन्नू मुन्नू तेरा घर तक अम्मू नींद में है मेरा बेटा
चिनी बेटी वा चिनी वा बेटी
आज बहुत खुशी आज है मेरा बेटा घर वापस आना हंसते हंसते बहुत खुश हूँ इससे ज़्यादा और खुशी क्या हो सकती है कुछ बोला आपको
After the dramas of the last 6 months, today is a day of great joy for the family. Kur's oldest brother is getting married. Young and old are united in their celebrations. The uncomfortable memories of their parents' objections and their grueling hospital stay are forgotten. But the euphoria of the wedding is short-lived. Pediatric transplant director Dr. Ashley De Cruz is worried. Baby Hattersham has been readmitted, and his case is discussed at length at the weekly patient meeting.
Baby Hattersham, he's now 2 months post-transplant. 2 days back, she admitted with fever and vomiting. So recently, we repeated labs. The labs have come. Creatinine is 0.4, electrolytes is 133, potassium is 4.9, chloride is 104. LFT wise, total bilirubin.
उसको बेटर रहता 1 महीना करवाने एक महीना अच्छा था फिर 1 महीने के बाद थोड़ा फीवर आया
His liver functions are not absolutely normal. There's been a collection in that portion which we've drained, and that drainage now is drying up, and his fever has settled down, and he seems much better. He's feeding normally, but having said that, he doesn't have a very good result, I might say. I would expect that in future, this graft will give us some trouble. We'll have to see how it behaves, and he well may be a candidate for a retransplant at some stage, or to relook at things at some stage later. But as of now, I think he's done well. He's stabilized, and I think he should be all right.
पहले सोचने से बहुत दुख होता भगवान ने औलाद दिया तो तंदुरुस्ती देना
Despite his terrible long-term prognosis, Prabhu is determined to make the most of life. He's always found comfort in music, and each week a group of friends gather at his house to compose songs.
Rohit, and sound good. Mastar. Pray for me, sister. Okay, pray for the answer to my question. We regularly meet on Sundays. So I compose music. I compose the beat of a song. So my friend comes in, he plays the keyboard. So we compose a tune. And we save it and keep it. So when we get some nice opportunities, we show them, and we compose music for small jingles and small albums. Yo, that's what I'm talking about, man. Everything's gonna be okay. We are just waiting for some equipment. We are waiting for the finance. Finance is the problem.
We're definitely going to follow you and your beats.
Just a year ago, Prabhu felt like a rock star playing at a local dance party. But as the disease progresses, the ability to enjoy even these small pleasures will be just a distant memory.
Maybe as doctor told me that maybe in another 2 to 3 years I'll be totally paralyzed. Totally, I won't be able to do anything at all. At that point of time, let me think about it. But then unless I can shake my hands, shake my legs, I have a strong, though I am a disabled person, I'm very stronger than anybody else. Physically challenged, but mentally I'm really strong. So, and also I have a attitude like never give up attitude. I can't depend on anybody. I don't want to depend on anybody. As long as I'm alive, I want to earn my own bread. Whatever, something is better than nothing.
In the executive wing of the hospital, Vicky waits for his operation with his anxious family. While being able to afford a private room and not join any surgery waiting list is a bonus, having money is no guarantee of good health, as Rekha knows to her cost.
One of the reasons that I'm so anxious and I feel that there's a rock in my head all the time is because my past keeps crashing in front of my eyes, and I've lost 2 brothers who had a totally unrelated different condition called Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I've lost both of them. And of course, I lost my dad pretty early in life, in the sense he was just 60 years old and he had a kidney failure. And, so I've lost all of them and who are very close to me. So in fact, that's another nagging feeling that I have, because we have 3 generations where my grandma is there, my mom's there, and I'm there. We're the only 3 women in the family left from my maternal side now. And all the male counterparts and male children are not there anymore. So I'm like, if you look at it from a very superstitious level, I've got 3 boys. Being an Indian and being, all those things, it kind of worries me.
There's enough to go around.
Despite there being good food in the hospital canteen, in true Indian style, the Menons prefer home-cooked food, which they bring in each day. Lunch is interrupted by a nurse conducting final test for Vicky's operation, which has been scheduled for the next morning.
Oh, okay.
I'll come back on Sunday.
All right, okay.
Yeah?
You're going back to Bangkok?
The approach that they take with us has been, it's not one of those we don't have to know kind of approach. They do really believe in telling us the whole story, and that really helps. It is worrying at times, but at the same time, I think
when we asked them what is the risk factor, and we are hoping to hear a good percentage, and she just said 50-50.
I don't want to be not aware of anything, so I'm constantly researching.
Pattern of something going wrong, so it's always like what's going to go wrong next. which is why I was giving her a piece of my mind yesterday, saying, you know, that's enough, nothing's going to go wrong, and you have to think positive, you have to feel positive, and there's nothing that's going to go wrong.
Watched by Rekha's grandmother, the family relieved the tension by playing games.
Oh my god, that's a good shot.
Vicky's father isn't due in until the early hours of the morning. Rekha is praying he'll arrive in time to see Vicky before his surgery begins. Over in the orthopedic ward, it's 2 days since her operation. Rajeshwari is about to see her new face for the first time. A day she and her father could only dream about, a day to remember.
Tumba khushi aita. She's very, very happy. That's good. That's gratifying. ನೋಡ್ತೀಯ ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಮುಖ ಸೊಟ್ಟ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಇದೆ ಸರಿ ಹೋಯ್ತಾ? I'm asking her that she had that slant sort of a face which was a deformity, but how is it now? She's telling that it's not there anymore. Fantastic. Chalata, Kushata.
For Rajeshwari, this is only the beginning of a long and sometimes painful process of rehabilitation and physiotherapy. Without daily exercise and the insertion of spacers, her mouth will seize up again, and it can sometimes be difficult for patients to maintain motivation once they're back in their village. The job of carrying out the daily physiotherapy will fall on Rajeshwari's father.
So this is what we do for the poor patient, which they can easily afford. You know, it's easily available anywhere in this place also. We ask them to place this here like that. She'll keep it like this for 15 minutes, then she'll take rest for another 10 minutes, again do that. So till she achieves a mouth opening of what we expect her to do. 30 ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದು 30ರಿಂದ 50ರವರೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅವಳು ಬಾಯಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು 4 ಬೆರಳು ಹೋಗೋಷ್ಟು ಇರಬೇಕು. 4 ಬೆರಳು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಬರೀ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ? 2 ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನದು 3 ಆಗಿ 4 ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಇದನ್ನು. ಇದನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡ್ಡಿ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೀವು ಇದು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ಸರಿ ಕೇಳು, ಇದು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಾಯಿ ಕ್ರಮೇಣ ತೆಗೆಯೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಮುಂಚೀಗ ಈಗ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೈ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮಾಡು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೂರ್ತಿ.
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಥರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಆಸೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಬಲಿಕಿದ್ರೆ
ಈಗ ಹೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ಈಗ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಈಗ ಹೊತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮನೆಗೆ. Now she is ready to go to her relatives' house and attend the functions.
ಕೂದಲೆಲ್ಲ ಚಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನು ಸರಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಪರವಾಗ್ಬೇಕು.
ಅವಳಿಗೆ ನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋದು.
Nurse, she wants to become a nurse. I think we had a very positive impact on her, right? Good.
ಒಳಗತ್ತ ಸಲ್ಲ ಆಗ ನಗಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ನಗಡ್ತಲ್ವ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಂ.
On the other side of Bangalore, after 6 months of a life and death struggle, baby Hattisham is healthy, putting on weight, and his future looks bright. Next Eid al-Fitr, the Ali family will have something to celebrate. In the next episode of Indian Hospital, 13-year-old Vicky goes under the knife.
I'm putting you to sleep. In next 1 minute, you will be asleep. Relax.
Young Beamish is thrown a lifeline. Prabhu undergoes an operation.
Indian punctuality is the best in the world. You can shoot me for that. I'm an Indian too. Okay, ready.
And a new doctor starts at the hospital.
When we say 12 o'clock, that means 12 o'clock midnight. That's all.